What's up everyone and welcome back to the UFC News Hub. Today let's get started with Michael Chandler and Paddy Pimblett go back and forth. Michael Chandler and Paddy Pimblett are set to collide at UFC 314, and the hype has already reached a fever pitch. The fight is officially booked, and both fighters wasted no time in ramping up the promotion through social media, setting the stage for what promises to be an explosive matchup. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you never miss an update. The moment Chandler's video about the fight's confirmation dropped, the UFC's social media accounts jumped into action, featuring a clip of Pimblett hyping up the showdown in his signature energetic style. Yes, people, UFC 314, the baddie is coming to Miami. I know you all can't wait for it. Me and Michael Chandler, two fan favorites, coming to put on a show for everyone, and I cannot wait, said Paddy Pimblett, fueling excitement among fans. Chandler, never one to shy away from a bit of playful banter, took to Instagram to intensify the build-up. He posted a clip of himself shadowboxing while wearing a blonde wig, clearly poking fun at Pimblett's signature hairstyle, captioning it, "In camp, walk on, see you at the top." Pimblett, never one to back down, responded in the comments, "Yes, Mike, love this lad, see you at the top, brother." Chandler then doubled down with another comment, "Walk-ons and Scousers, see you in April." Despite the lighthearted exchanges, Chandler soon turned up the heat with a sharp reality check during an interview with ESPN. He made it clear that he believes Pimblett has never faced anyone of his caliber and that the fight is a mismatch in his favor. "I believe he will know right away within the first exchange that he's not stepping into the octagon with Bobby Green or Tony Ferguson. It's just a different level. It's a bad matchup stylistically for him. That first time he gets hit by one of the toughest punchers in the UFC lightweight division, which he has not faced yet. It's going to be a different feeling. It's going to be a different speed. It's going to be a different ferocity that he hasn't felt before," said Michael Chandler, making it clear that he sees himself as a cut above Pimblett's previous opponents. Though Chandler acknowledged that Pimblett has a lot of momentum behind him, he remains supremely confident that when they step into the octagon in Miami, he will put an end to the hype train once and for all. The fight is set, the trash talk is flowing, and the anticipation continues to build. Fans are in for a wild ride as two of the UFC's most electrifying personalities prepare for war. Daniel Cormier gets single-legged by a dwarf. Recently, footage surfaced online of DC getting single-legged by a dwarf. The MMA community is having a field day with this one. Conor McGregor roasts Belal Muhammad for footage. Conor McGregor has once again found himself in the middle of a heated exchange, this time at the expense of UFC welterweight champion Belal Muhammad. As Muhammad prepared for his upcoming title defense against Jack Della Maddalena in May, he posted some training footage on his Instagram story, only for McGregor to seize the opportunity to take a jab at him. The Irish superstar wasted no time in roasting Muhammad, responding with a tweet that was quickly deleted, but not before fans caught it. "The UFC welterweight champion, haha. Holy good lord, wool abysmal," said Conor McGregor, mocking Muhammad's striking skills in a way only he can. This isn't the first time the two have gone back and forth. Their history of verbal sparring includes McGregor previously ridiculing Muhammad for pulling out of UFC 310, while Muhammad has fired back by calling McGregor pathetic and even threatening to kick his ass. With McGregor's fighting future still uncertain, his trash talk remains as sharp as ever. Meanwhile, Muhammad is focused on proving himself in what will be his first title defense. Despite McGregor's criticism, Muhammad remains confident in his abilities and isn't backing down from any doubters. When speaking about his striking game, Muhammad made it clear that he believes he's been underestimated for too long. "I think they just underestimate my hands and my striking. I just went against the best striker in the UFC, Leon Edwards, so-called. I train with the best striker in the UFC, Ignacio Bahamondes. I train with Yair Rodriguez. Both these guys, you've seen them spar, you've seen they're a different level," said Belal Muhammad, dismissing the notion that his striking isn't up to par. Muhammad then turned his attention to his opponent, Jack Della Maddalena, and explained why he believes this fight is his to win. "When I have a guy that's basic like Jack, who's just boxing, right? He has really good hands, he has good power, but he breaks a lot of these these guys down because he hasn't fought anybody like me. His biggest weakness is his experience. He's never been in a big fight like this. I had to fight Gilbert Burns for a #1 contender spot. I had to fight an undefeated Sean Brady. I had to fight Leon Edwards in Manchester. I've had the pressure of all of that on me. He hasn't had a pressure fight yet. He hasn't fought a pressure fighter yet. So for me, I think I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna walk through him like I've done to everybody else, making it clear that he believes his experience will be the deciding factor. While Muhammad is focused on proving himself as champion, McGregor's comments have once again ignited discussion among fans. Whether this is just McGregor being McGregor or a sign of something bigger brewing remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, Muhammad has no time for the doubters and he's ready to silence them all come fight night. Ilia Topuria team fires back at Islam Makhachev's manager for comments. The rivalry between Ilia Topuria's camp and Islam Makhachev's team just took another turn, as Topuria's manager Malki Kawa fired back at recent comments made by Makhachev's manager Rizvan Magomedov. The back and forth began when Magomedov downplayed the idea of Topuria getting a title shot at lightweight, stating that it wouldn't make sense for Islam to defend his belt against another featherweight after already facing Alexander Volkanovski twice. But Kawa wasn't having any of it. He made sure to set the record straight, highlighting why Topuria has every right to move up and challenge for the 155-pound title. You know, I don't really come on here that much anymore. I kind of stay to myself, but when certain managers come out there and talk about a guy being too small, shouldn't move up, needs to fight someone else, let's make sure we just get the facts straight. He knocked out Volk in his first opportunity to knock him out. The fight wasn't close. When your client fought Volk, he struggled with him the first time. Don't forget that. Second, he knocks him out, and then he knocks out Max Holloway, who happens to be probably one of the greatest 145ers of all time. I'm not sure why he doesn't deserve a shot at 155, but I don't blame you. I wouldn't want my client to fight Ilia Topuria either, making it clear that Topuria has more than earned his shot at Islam. While Makhachev's manager might be against the idea, Makhachev's coach, Javier Mendez, seemed far more open to it when speaking with Submission Radio. He dismissed the idea that Islam would ever avoid an opponent, emphasizing that he's ready to face anyone the UFC puts in front of him. He's not gonna say no to Ilia if that's who they offer. If that's who's on the table for Islam, that's what Islam's going to do. That's just the way he is. He's a true warrior. We're champion. We're #1 for a reason. We're not supposed to reject any person they throw in front of you, said Javier Mendez, shutting down any claims that Islam would try to duck Topuria. With Makhachev's coach signaling a willingness to take the fight, the question now becomes, will the UFC make it happen? Topuria has certainly made his case, having knocked out Volkanovski and dismantled Max Holloway. But does that warrant an immediate title shot at lightweight, or should he prove himself in the division first? The debate continues, but one thing is clear. Topuria's camp is ready for war, and they're not backing down from the challenge. What do you guys think? Should Ilia Topuria get a title shot at 155 after knocking out Volkanovski and Holloway? Or does he need to prove himself in the division first? Islam's team seems divided. His manager downplays the fight, but his coach says he'll take on anyone. Is this the matchup to make, or should Islam defend against a true lightweight contender? Let us know in the comments.